I want to ask you.
Okay.
It's live already. What does he need? Huh? All right. My who? Oh, they're in Kodesh behind me. So just a couple minutes of emails before we start the shir in 2 minutes. Shalom Aleichem.
That's the Ron Kornbluth.
Doron Kornbluth. Shalom Aleichem. From? Ramat Bet Shemesh. Unbelievable. You guys continue with the coffees. However, once shir starts, people have complained that it's very noisy, so eventually we'll have a cutoff switch. Shkoyach Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh bidvaroi. We have a floater here. All right. First, I just want to say thanks for an amazing shir. Your charts and charisma give a whole new level to my learning and the daf. I enjoy the shir so much that I actually can't wait to listen. There's no doubt that this is the best daf on the internet. May Hashem give you the strength to keep going, and eventually I just added that myself. I actually go to a live Daf Yomi shir at 6:30 a.m., but I get up at about 5 a.m. to do your daf first and use the 6:30 one as a review. This guy is a Daf Yomi machine.
An addict.
I also watch your 8-minute on the way to work and sometimes on the way home from work as a review. I can't wait to meet you. I will Emir Hashem be in Israel next week and look forward to meeting you at the Chabura and attend the live daf. I keep telling my wife we have to move to RBS. I'm going to try to make it there Tuesday and would love to sponsor the morning daf that day. Please let me know where I can send my credit card info. P.S. I'm also bringing more coffee. I ordered 3 big Folgers. Yishkoyach Reb David address. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Something like that. Address. We'll see when he comes here. Exactly. Noch einer. We have a minute. Okay. Hello, Rebbe.
Oh.
Huh? I'm not even going to repeat. You stick to your songs. You're in charge of singing. Hello, Rebbe. Here, this guy's talking to you. Yes, I'm referring to you as Rebbe, as I definitely learned much more than a teva achas from you since I started listening. I already sent you an email. I'm the guy who's very happy with the different shirs singing. Blame my Chofetz Chaim education for that. You don't need to read this email on video, so of course, yeah, it's the reverse psychology thing. The last time you did, you definitely increased my shalom bias. I just showed it to my wife with ad nauseum. Ad nauseum. Many times. Yeah. I've seen that before. And she believes I'm learning that I'm learning the daf each day. Little does she know that I just watched the email portion of the shir. But that goof is why I'm writing again. I just feel I need to let you know the following gives you chizuk you're doing. At least you can do for chizuk. A few points. If you read them, great. Fine. Hearing the emails before the shir is amazing. I get such chizuk from how people are connecting and learning, and I'm sure that many others feel the same way. It's also a great way to throw in a quick joke or comment, opening the learning with the davar shebidichusa. The singing is great, Judah. Keep it up. As Chazal, I'm already working on an album called The 8-Minute Daf's Greatest Hits. And this one is serious. As I mentioned, I'm a Rebbe in Los Angeles. You know this guy? At Amic Hebrew Academy in the Heilige Valley. I teach first grade, and he's been giving shiurim to men and fathers. B'kitzur, I decided recently to start giving a shir again. It'll be in Baba Kama, Gemara Rashi Tosfos. But here's the point. Though I teach young children and use many visual aids, I never gave much thought to how helpful these can still be to adults. You've shown me, inspired me to add proper charts, pictures, and fun stuff to my shir to make it more accessible. I'm making these as I prepare to give the shir. You should keep it up. Reb Moshe Trapper. I stuck in the Reb. Oh, you know him? Yoga. You know him, Ari Rosenstein, the Kamianskis, and Rabbi Kramer, also from Los Angeles. Fine. And here we go, Rabbi Isai. Today is Daf Yotes. If you just tuned in for the emails, you can turn it off right now. Where's my water? Oh, a new one. At least without the... Okay. So we're discussing whether or not the dead understand what's going on, what they hear, what they don't hear. Rabbi Yonason Hodabe. Rabbi Yonason, if you recall, yesterday was walking the Beis HaKvaros. I'm completely confused there. I have Chaim Kornbluth and Yisachar Bram on my left. I don't know what just happened. It's a whole different matzav. You throw me off. You believe you belong there. I don't know where you belong. At least maybe on your father's seat. Where's his seat? Oh, you're in the wrong place, but that's a Kornbluth seat. Don't even, okay. Fine. Vav Rabbi Yonason Hodabe. So Rabbi Yonason and Rabbi Chia were walking the Beis HaKvaros, and Rabbi Chia tells Rabbi Yonason, your tzitzis are dragging on the grave, and Rabbi Yonason tells him, V'ameisim einim yodim uma, shalom aleichem. They don't know anything. Says the Gemara that he took it back. They do speak to each other. Hashem tells Moshe, right before Moshe Rabbeinu dies, Baruch says, you see the land? It's right here. My Leimar, says Rabbi Yonason. It's interesting Gemara that Akash Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, I want you to be the messenger to tell Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, look, I fulfilled my obligation, I fulfilled my shvuah. So what's the raya? If the dead don't care about what's going on in this world, why would Akash Baruch Hu tell Moshe Rabbeinu to tell the others who don't care about what's going on in this world? They're in a different place, in a better place. What do they care? Elamai, you see, they do care. So it's a raya that the dead do understand, they do care, and they do know what's going on. Elamai diodi. So Elamai, the others do care, they do know. So then why did Akash Baruch Hu tell Moshe Rabbeinu to tell them? Shouldn't they know this on their own? It's in order that the Avos should have an opportunity to say thank you to Moshe Rabbeinu for taking such good care of their descendants. Give them an opportunity to meet. Here, you go tell them, oh, Shalom Aleichem, Moshe Rabbeinu, I heard so much about you. Thank you so much for taking care of my children. Fine. This is the end of the sugya. Last night, one of our older guys in the Chabur came over to me and asked me, so what's Lamaskana? Does my father know that I'm doing this and this? That I do all this learning for him? What's Lamaskana? I didn't get a Clarkite. On the one hand, we see that the dead hear from other dead. On the other hand, you could say that they know on their own. Look into it. I'm not 100% sure. They don't know that much. They know some things. On one hand, you see that they know some. On the other hand, the Gemara says they don't know anything. Ayin Sham.
Bring you many rights that they know.
Okay. So if you have rice, you should have inserted in the Gemara. What? No, the Gemara says he wasn't chayzer about it. The Gemara says perhaps Moshe Rabbeinu only went to say hello to them for Akar Satayv. That's the end of the sugya. It was Akar Satayv, not because he wanted to know. Rabbi Yonason brings the pasuk, and he believes in that the dead don't know anything. The Gemara shrugged it up and said that you could say that it means that it's referring to the Rishaim. But if you hold like Rabbi Yonason, it's referring to even Tzaddikim, and they don't know anything. They don't care about what's going on here. So, anyways. Omar Rabbi Yitzchok, Kol HaMesaper Achrei HaMeis. If you talk about the dead, Kilu Mesaper Achrei Oeven. It's like talking about a stone. It doesn't do anything. Either because they simply don't know that you're talking about them, so they don't care. If they don't know, they don't care. When you're up there, what difference does it make when a shaita down here says something about you? It doesn't make a difference. There's once a story. Somebody was talking about Mar Shmuel. Question, here's a riddle. Who's Mar Shmuel's father? Oh, Abba, very good. Okay, at least somebody was listening yesterday. Mar Shmuel, yesterday we had Shmuel, the whole story was Shmuel, and his father told him, you're about to die. Here, he died. He died, and somebody said something about him. V'nofal kanyo mitlolo, so like a pole fell off the roof, ubazel arnika demoiche, and it pierced the membrane surrounding the guy's brain. Interesting lashon. Instead of saying it pierced his brain, it pierced the membrane around his brain. So Akopanim, you see that you can't talk about people that died. Shani Tzuri Merabana and the Kuchabrichu Tava Bikari. Shmuel didn't care. Either Shmuel didn't know or Shmuel didn't care. Akash Baruch cares. You don't talk about my tzaddikim like that. And he hit him with a pole in the head. Omer Yeshua ben Levi. If you speak about the Talmid Chachamim after their nifter, you fall into Gehenim. Shenemar. V'hamatim akal kiloisam. If you lean crookedly, Yolichem Hashem is parallel oven. Hakadosh Baruch Hu will lead you into Gehenim. Shalom Yisrael. What does it mean, Shalom Yisrael? Afilu b'shasha Shalom Yisrael. Even if the tzaddik is b'menucha and olam emes, he's b'shalom. Yolichem Hashem is parallel oven. Hashem will guide him into Gehenim. Tana debeir Shmuel. If you witnessed that a Talmid Chacham did an Aveira, don't think about him. Don't think that he's a Rasha. Shema asa tshuva, because perhaps he did tshuva. Shema sokodaitoch elavadi asa tshuva. You have to know, huh? What did you say? No, that's not what it says. Tshuva, you're learning Belashon tshuva. Vade asa tshuva. He wrote a tshuva that it's mutter. Very funny. I missed you, Chaim. Come more often. You guys hear what he said? Tshuva, he's learning, means that he wrote a tshuva that what he did is not asur. If a Talmid Chacham did an aver between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then I have to assume that he did tshuva. If he was mazik something, he didn't steal, but he did something that has to do with monetary tshuva. You have to pay back. So you pay back. It means you have to give it back. You have to make sure. Don't assume that he did tshuva until you know for a fact. Between bin adam and chaveroi, that you have to see for yourself that he did tshuva. Bin adam l'makam is something else. He went into a corner and spoke to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and asked for forgiveness. Var Reb Shimon ben Levi. So now, once we're mentioning Reb Shimon ben Levi, so the Gemara says, Yeah, that what?
It's not such thing as a Talmid Chacham that's showing of Mammon, and if he is,
right, I said it's not Gneva.
he's not a Talmid Chacham.
Right, I don't know if you noticed, I said under my breath, it's not talking about Gneva, it's talking about some monetary issue. Maybe it was by mistake.
Why are you involved? You saw it happen?
No, so there's some sort of by mistake. Okay.
No, but you have to, why are you involved? Because you saw it happen.
Mishra Sadin is a little hard.
Saying you saw it, so you need to feel better about it. Why are
You
you
saw
involved?
you saw Talmid Chacham have a little car accident. He brushed the guy's thing, and he maybe didn't notice, and he went weiter. So, Thornhill, Canada. Shkoya for watching. Detroit, Michigan. Gevaldik. All the shout-outs. Bamar Rishon Levi. We have some good ones. Vilna's still watching? Suradasa, Eli Kamyansky and Suradasa. Bamar Rishon ben Levi. People don't know what that is. They think it's like a hospital or something. So now we have a whole sugya, and this is going to bring us to the end of today's daf, that there's 24 places in Mishnayos that you see that the Bezdin puts a person in cherim, in nidui, in excommunication, because a person didn't treat his Rav respectfully. We got Spain. Oh, the guy in Spain had a taina. I forgot what it was. I got an email from him. Spain. Oh, something with the 8-minute daf didn't come out in time, right? Yosef, what was that? Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, we apologize. We had an issue. The 8-minute daf is going to start coming out earlier, hopefully without all the technical difficulties.
To what you're saying is, Baruch Ber, right? There's a taina that Hashem has. That there was this girl who made fun of the book with her Baruch Ber. She laughed at the way he looked, and then her face went, her mouth went out.
Palsy.
Yeah. So they called Yisrael Gelis, and he was on a trip to Vilna with a lot of Gedolim. They asked him to go for Baruch Ber's kever to ask Mechila.
This is Nachman Seltzer talking now. Yeah, story time.
And so they went to the kever to ask Mechila with a minion, and afterwards her face went back. So over there they asked Mechila from a Baruch Ber. So you could say Shemayim was what did it to her originally. But afterwards, they went to the kever.
Right, but there's a concept of talking by the kever. The neshama is there. It might be different. We're saying we had the case in the Gemara was, does a father know the tsar of a son when he forgets his learning? That's different.
Anyways,
Matis from Vilna and Jacob from Spain. Givaldik. Okay, that's it. V'chulon says the Gemara Shoninu b'Mishnah Seinu. All 24 cases are in the Mishnah. Amar le Rebelazar. Heicha. I did a quick check in my head. I went through Mishnayos. I don't know what you're talking about. Omalei lechitishkach. Go figure it out. Nofak dok va'ashkach. So he went, he opened up the Mishnayos, he started looking. Va'ashkach tlas. He only came up with 3. No chairs left. What's going on there? Shem Yirachem. Here, for the guys in Vilna in Spain, just we're going to have video cameras. I'll show you right over there on top. In the corner, there's a video that, oh, no, I forget that. But here, this is what it looks like when there's no space. All right. Good. Now you see. You have to feel part of it. So we're those cameras, that camera in the corner, that camera up there, one of them is going to show the olam during the shir. So they'll feel a little bit more part of it. They only found 3 out of 24. Which one? If somebody is mizalzel, it treats Natilas Yadayim, the concept of Natilas Yadayim, lightly, and that's midrabanon. If he talks not nicely about a Talmud Chacham after he's nifter, and talking not nicely to the Rebellious Shloilom, which is the same concept of being mizalzel b'choy derab. Where is it in the Mishnah? The Snan. It's talking about a kaveh ben mahalalel. A mashkim lo yisaki yoris v'lo yisam shuchreres. Shaila machloikis, whether or not you give the meisaita. You have a saita, a woman who was warned by her husband not to be misyached with another man, and she was, so you give her this drink. If she drinks it and she was misyached, she explodes. Can you do it for a giyaris, a convert? Says the Gemara, so the Mishnah says, the Kaveh Mahalal says, loy, you don't do it for a giyaris. Mashkim, you do give it for a giyaris. Rashi says maybe he was in a place, maybe that was her name. Shivcha mishuchreres b'Yerushalayim. She was a mishuchreres, meaning she used to be a slave, and she's freed now, and that was part of the machlokes. Vishkua Shema Yivavtalion. Who Shema Yivavtalion? Shema Yivavtalion, the famous Rebbeim of Hillel and Shammai, and they were from Sancheiriv. They were Gerim. Question if they were themselves became Gerim, or maybe their fathers became Gerim, because they were the heads of Klal Yisrael's heart. You can't really be a Ger. They say they were so great that even a Ger, birth certificate, right? It's the whole, can't have, what?
His father was the king.
Yeah, but was he the head?
Kiva was the head of Klal Yisrael. His father, probably his father was the king.
V'omer lahem, so Akav Mahal said something not that nice. He said, Dugma Yishkua. So either the pshat is, according to Rashi, that they gave her to drink because they were Gerim and they wanted to show that even Gerim, this Giyaris, this Meshuchreris is like somebody in Klal Yisrael, so they did it as an example. Or Taisus says they gave her like a placebo, a fake water. Either way, what he said wasn't so nice because he was referring to them in a derogatory way that they're Gerim, Ememela v'nidu, and they put him in Cherim, Umeis b'niduyav, v'saklu bezenes aroinoi, and they wanted to show, and they did skila to his coffin. They threw rocks at his coffin. Yeah, but he said it in a not when a dugma yishku. Dugma means because they gerim, they didn't hold like that la halacha. They held like that because they were gerim. They had a personal bias to show that this meshuchrera should be, not that they came up with the svara. The way they said it, it was a zilzul. And what happened over there? The Snan, Omer Yehuda, and this is the continuation of that Mishnah. Chas v'sholem shakavia b'mahalalel nisnado. It's impossible to say that the nidu happened to him. Shein azor neles al kolodim Yisrael b'chochma. When Klal Yisrael came to the Azara on Erev Pesach and everybody was there, nobody was as great as a kavia b'mahal b'chochma, b'tahara, b'yiras chet, kavia b'mahal. So it's impossible that somebody like that, they'll put him in a nidu. Elo es mi nidu es the Loz ben Chanoich. He wasn't careful with Natilas Yadayim. They put him in Cherim, Ukishemeis. And when Elaz ben Chanach died, Sholchu Bezdin v'nichu Even Gdola al Aroinoi, they didn't literally take stones and throw it at his Aron. They put one stone on top of his Aron, showing that there is skila after death. If you die within a nidui, then they stone your coffin. Hamegis Daitek Lapimalo, what's the third one? This nan. Why is his name Choini Amagel? Because he made a circle around himself. There's no rain. He made a circle and he says, Rebbeinu Shalom, I'm not coming out of this circle until you give us rain. So it started raining. He says, nah, you call this rain, this is too light. So it started raining really, really hard. He says, no, this is too hard. Until it started raining normally. The problem is that he said it, he was demanding. He said, I need rain, I want rain, I'm not moving. You don't talk like that to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he says, Shema says to Choyni HaMa'agal, now his name is forever, Choyni HaMa'agal, because he made a circle. I have to put you in Cherem. V'imoli Choyni Ato, if you weren't the famous Choyni, I would have put you in Cherem. You deserve Cherem, I'm not giving you Cherem. Yosef, what do we have today? What's going on? You're not doing your job. Okay. You're like a nudging child that keeps on begging. Fine. But the way he did it wasn't the greatest way to go about it. And if you talk like that to Rebbeinu Shalom, you deserve nida. Anyways, nidui. Says Rebbe Lazar, I only found 3 places in Shas, in all Mishnayos. So how did you come up with 24? Says the Gemara, V'suleke v'oika d'tani Rav Yosef. Toydis ish roimi, hiniges b'nei roimi lahachilon gedoyim mikulosim. Don't look if you are a little queasy. This is a di mikulos. Basically, this is how they did the Korban Pesach. The feet and the hind legs were with the body, and they put it on a skewer, on a spit, and they turned this thing over the coals. They roasted the entire thing in one piece. Taidas, where did he live? In Rome. There's no Korban Pesach in Rome. But he made a minhag. He figured that it's kedai for Klal Yisrael to remember the Korban Pesach in Rome, so let's do it exactly like the Korban Pesach. Oh, so they told him you deserve nidui. Why? All right, 65. If you weren't toydus, choshev a person in Rome, I'll put you in Cherem. I have an email from somebody in not in Rome, Milano. I guess it's next to Rome somewhere. It's in Italy somewhere, a couple hours away. We'll read it at a different time. So what's the problem? Somebody that's an Amoritz doesn't know. He might think, oh, you could bring a Korban Pesach outside of Beis Hamikdash and you could eat it. Look, it looks exactly like the halacha says. So I have a case number 4 where that somebody deserves nidui in what? Somebody deserves nidui in the Mishnah. It says the Gemara, Mishnah Kamina of a Braisi. That's a Braisi, not a Mishnah. I'm talking about 24 places in the Mishnah. This is the famous sugya of Tanur Shlachnoi, the famous story in Bava Metzia. What happened? There's halacha that if you have earthenware, kli cheres, becomes tamei, you can't put it in a mikvah. The only eitzah is, if you want to remove the tumah, is that you break it. You have to at least break it into pieces that are less than a roiv per piece. So you take a stove, made out of earthenware, it's tamei. Now you want to take the tumah out, so you break it, chop it up into pieces. Now he wants to put it back together again, like a puzzle. So he takes sand and he glues it together with sand. Sand is not earthenware. So Shaila, Rebbe Lezer holds that the sand doesn't do anything to it. It doesn't create earthenware. And Memela, it's still tahar. It remains tahar even though you have a full oven right now. Chacham say no. It's still tamei. Question is, does the original tumah come back? Could it be? It's just available for tumah. That's the machlokes. The Gemara in Bava Metzia says real quickly that Rebbe Lezer, he had tremendous proof. He had the charav tree, the walls of the Bismer started leaning, the Amas Hamayim stopped flowing, everything. Bas Kol comes out of Shemayim, says Rebbe Lezer is 100% right, and they told him the famous thing, Loi b'Shemayimi, Torah Loi b'Shemayimi, and not only that, they put him in Cherem. They put him in Cherem, and he dies b'Cherem. It's an incredible story. As right as he was, he went against the Rabbim, he went against Chachamim. There's a lot of Rishonim on it. He went misvara, they went b'Kabbalah. They knew what the halacha was, and all his rights don't mean anything. We go by what we know, tradition. Voikaha, Desnan. Wow. Nachman, you man is stark today. Came with a mood. Gewaldig. You put the sand between each piece. Right? They chopped it up like sliced bread. They cut up this tanur. Now they have nice pieces. Now they put it back together again with sand. Why is it called like a snake? They surrounded him. They try to choke him with the halachas like a anaconda takes his prey, just wraps his body around it and squeezes him tight until he's done. That's what they try to do. What? Back to the safari.
Don't do that.
That's in. They don't have any condoms. I don't think over there. They have other stuff. They have the cobras and stuff. But that's in Florida. The guy that left, put in the Everglades. I'll go on him. What? Pythons. Vitanya. Oisayoim. Hiviu kol tahari shatir Rebbe Lezer v'sar from Lefanov. Now there was boa constrictor. They took the taharis that he did in these ovens. He said these ovens are kosher. The tar. They said we have to show everybody that you're wrong. They take all the food. They burn it. And they gave it a big bracha. Bracha is lashon saginah. Not even a euphemism. It's a lashon saginah. In other words, the opposite of a bracha. The biggest curse ever. They put him in a nidui right after he's. Yeah, sarcasm, exactly. Okay.
Go on.
Don't argue with the lawyer. Some after his nifter, they took off the nidui. Afilu hachi nidui b'masnisin loitnan. We're trying to come up with a nidui, a cherem that happened in the Mishnah. It's not in the Mishnah. That's brought down in the Gemara somewhere. So where do you have 24 Mishnayos that discuss nidui, cherem? Rabbi Shua ben Levi midam milsa lemilsa, Rabbi Elazar midam milsa lemilsa. If I take these three cases, and the common denominator of these three cases is that a person fought the rabbim. He went against the majority, and he was stubborn about it, and he kept on going and going. Something like that has to be put in cherem, like Rabbi Elazar. If somebody fights against somebody that's greater than him, says Rashi, also you go into cherem. It depends how strong your fight is, but you're insistent and you keep on going, and they tell you, look, we're achnoi, we prove to you, we surround you, we give you all the rights, and you still keep on going. Cherem. 24 times in Shisha Sidri Mishnah, you could find that concept where somebody went out of the way to fight against the majority, and he deserved cherem. That's why it's 24. No, it doesn't mean that they literally put him in cherem. It means he deserves the cherem of those 3 times that they put him. 3 times they actually put him in cherem. 21 times they should have put him in cherem, but for whatever reason, he was a gadol, he was a this. Like Shimon said, if you were not chayni, I'll put you in cherem. He said it twice, Shimon ben Shaddach. No, because those were different things. It didn't happen in the Mishnah, it didn't happen here, whatever. Torah Rabbana. Ein moitzim, it says in the Mishnah, Noisei Amito v'chilufeim, all the people that hold the pallbearers, the front ones that didn't get a chance to, they don't say Kriya Shema. The ones in the back that got a chance to hold it, they do say Kriya Shema. Torah Rabbana. Ein moitzim is hamei somech l'Kriya Shema. Early in the morning, it's not a good idea to start a funeral procession, because my Kriya Shema comes, and the halacha is you have to say Kriya Shema as soon as the sun comes. A couple of moments before sunrise, you're supposed to say Kriya Shema. If they made a mistake and they started the funeral procession, you continue going on. But Rav Yosef's funeral, everybody knows, was very early in the morning. Rav Yosef is different. The covet of Rav Yosef, they decided to push off Zman Kriya Shema, or not push off the Zman, but push off the lechatchila part of it of saying it right away. You'll say it later, say it like we do at 8 o'clock, because he's an Adam Chashav. If a person is in the middle of a hesped, obviously, he's not stopping to say Kriya Shema. He's in the middle of a hesped, but even the people listening, they have halacha. They're sitting in the room and the guy's being maspid, the part of the hesped. They disappear one by one. one guy leaves, it's not the biggest deal that one guy got up and said Kriya Shema, he comes back, his friend goes, etc. But if the body's not there, so you don't have the issue of first of all, if the body's there, what's the issue? Like l'rush, you can't say Kriya Shema in front of the mace. If the body's not there, hey Yoshim v'koyrim. No, they should all say Kriya Shema. What about the poor Aval who can't say Kriya Shema? V'u Yoshev v'doimim. He doesn't say Kriya Shema. Hey, ma'avnim mispalim v'u oimed u'matzik adin. What he should do is something called tziduk adin. He accepts upon himself the terrible tragedy that just happened to him. V'oimer ribono olamim harbe chatasi lefanecha. I did a lot of sins. I sinned in front of you. V'lo nefratim imeni echad min elef. My punishment is nothing compared to what I've done. Yirotzen, is that proper to say? It doesn't sound very good, right? I deserve a lot more, Rebbeinu Shleilam. Bring it on, kind of. You should close up the openings that we have. Okay? Yeah, but don't say that you sinned and you deserve. A person shouldn't talk like that. The famous concept, you don't sit there and admit your guilt, because then it's easier for the Satan to go to Rebellious and say, look, he himself said he's guilty. Whatever it's called. Okay, I don't know what the halach is, but this is not so much a knas. Knas. Knas is a gehenim. He does baldin, but this is bad stuff. You can't say, I stole. Rebellious, I stole. That's Russia. What? What? They're not down you. It depends what you're down. But if you say specifically, I did X, Y, Z, then you can't bring a lawyer and said, well, he didn't mean it and he didn't this it. You just admitted that you meant it and you deserve a lot more. I'll take the pela satan. It's not kedai to mention it. V'amar Rav Yosef, my crow, where do you see this mefurish in the pasuk? Shenemar, kimat kizdoim ayinu. By the Churban, the people in Yerushalayim said, we're almost like Zdoim, we're almost obliterated like Zdoim, nothing was... So later on it says, Mahadalu Navi, Shimud Bar Hashem, Kitzini Zdoim. Oh, you call yourself Zdoim? Very good. You're the rulers of Zdoim. The pasuk already called them Zdoim next. Kavras HaMeis v'chazru, im yichoyim lahatchil b'ligmor skula in avaperik echad pasuk echad. It says in the Mishnah that if they have a chance to say Kriya Shema, they should say Kriya Shema. If they don't have a chance to say Kriya Shema, not. What about one pasuk? Isn't it better just to say one pasuk? La halacha, all you have to say is one pasuk. Say one pasuk, say one perek. According to the other man, no, one perek. But why push it off? Say whatever you can say. Reminu, kavras hameis v'chazru. They buried the dead and then they came back. So Lamais, at the end of the day, all you need to do is one pasuk, and that's how we paskin. Says Gemara Chanami Kamer. That's exactly what we meant to say. If they could say one pasuk before they do nichum avelim, yatchilu v'mlav lo yatchilu. Now there's a shaila, interesting shaila. What happens? It seems like from Rashi that if a person says this one pasuk, it's a very interesting shaila. What's going on? Right now it is 7:45. So he knows that at 10 to 8, there's going to be an aval coming out, and then he's going to be chayiv to say Hamokim Menachem Eschem. He's going to have to tell him a good few words. But at 7:45, he has a chiyuv Kriya Shema. So okay, so you tell him to say one pasuk. If he was talking to the aval, then he's part of him Kriya Shema. But he's not talking to the aval yet. The aval is coming soon. But here's the bigger problem. He started saying Shema Yisrael Shem Elokeinu Shem Echad. Now he's Oisik b'mitzvah. Now he's already in the mitzvah of Kriya Shema. What gives him a heter to stop at the V'hayim Shemaya and Vayomer and start talking to the novel? So that's a machlokes really in the Rishonim. If once you start, we give you a heter to start, and once you start, could you stop? Fine. We're in Amid Beis, Daf Yomi Beis. In case you haven't noticed, we're in Masechtas Berachos. Not Becharos, exactly. He wasn't talking about you, Gary. I did go, I'm serious. A couple of days ago, I walked over to the guy in Chanichi. No, it's where we learn in the morning. It's Berachos, not Becharos. but he was holding Daf Lamed, so I guess he was doing his own. Anyway, we're 18 Daf into the Masechta. 18 Daf. It's a tremendous accomplishment. The other shir down the block also started with like 30, 40 people. They're down to 5. It's a huge accomplishment. We're still here. What? They're all here. Oh, oof. No, those are the Hebrew-speaking guys. No, whatever. Actually, the Hebrew-speaking shir I heard is doing very well. They actually want to move into this building. They have like 40, 45 guys, I heard, without children. Without coffee. Pitzuchim without coffee. But they're going to have to drop those pitzuchim. Fine. Beis Hashem to move in here.
They drop them all the time.
They dropped them, yeah. I hope Yeshua's not listening. They're not coming, Yeshua, don't worry about it. They're not coming. You heard? That's why he's gone. Zok the Gemara. No, but seriously, it's a big accomplishment. 18 daf is huge. Chai daf. Now, I do have to warn you that it's not always going to be agaditas and great stories, and we're going to have good sugis, but keep it up. It's kedai. The amount of feeling of accomplishment is tremendous. It's kedai. Tana Rabbanon. Shura Haroya Pnima. We have 2 spies here from the Israeli Shia. I see Yaakov and I see Moshe Ehrenfeld. So the kids they're a little worried. Tana Rabbanon Shura Haroya Pnima Ptura. So Ha'avdim Bashura. We spoke about these rows, and we're familiar with these rows. Exactly how it worked in those days, I think it was similar, maybe not exactly the same thing, but you have rows of people that Menachem Aval, the Avelim in the middle. Either the Aval walks and they stand, or they stand, they walk. The point is that people in the inside are saying Amokim Menachem and words of comfort. So we spoke about the outer rows, the inner rows. The Gemara just qualifies it a little bit. If the outer row doesn't see the aval and he can't even hear what they're saying, so what's the point? They're not part from Kriyishma. This is interesting that it didn't start today. These people are very curious to look. They have no idea. What side are you from? I'm from the side of the mace. I'm from the side of the curious people. I want to see how they bury somebody. I have no idea who it is. Yeah. Especially, children, Bachrim, whatever. So those people that come to look, they have no ptur at all. So now we're going to go into a whole sugya of, I guess I made a mistake. I said that all 24 halachas are all to the end of the Amid. I forgot. We have a whole different Amid talking about something else completely. Now we have the pasuk. We're going to discuss the pasuk of Ein Chachma, Vein Tfuna, Vein Eitzel Neged Hashem. When it comes to Chil Hashem, when it comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it doesn't matter how smart you are and how much tfuna you have. If you're creating a Chil Hashem, it doesn't matter who you are. It can be Reb Chaim Kanievsky, Gal Adar, whoever it is, you have to stop doing what you're doing. That what? That if a person is wearing shatnez, even if it's extremely embarrassing, he must disrobe immediately. He finds out that he's wearing shatnez, he's in the middle of a drush, he's in front of 10,000 people, Yachikala, has to take off his pants or whatever it is. Mamish, he has to embarrass himself. Why? Yeah, imagine, Sima Shas, in front of 90,000 people, his biggest enemy from Shul comes over, by the way, I have put shatnez in your pants. It's like, okay, right there. You can't even go to the back. You can't, right there, he has to take it off. Meisvei, Karus HaMeis. So what's Pshat? Now the Gemara is going to see, so the big problem is shatnez. And that remains, and that's a constant. Shatnez you have to remove, there's no chachma, there's no tfuna, ve'in eitza, you can't write a tshuva about this. Ein eitza, there's no way out of this. You have to take it off. So what about Karus HaMeis v'chazru, l'fneim shtei drachim? You have an oval who's leading the pack. He's leading the funeral procession, and he decides, there's a fork in the road, and he decides to go on the fork, the side of the fork that has tumah. And in the procession, like every procession, there's kohanim. Are they allowed to follow him? Says the Brisa. Achas toyer v'achas tmeya, ba b'tohira, ba yimim b'tohira. Ba b'tmeya, ba yimim b'tmeya. You follow him. Mishum k'vayde, to give him honor. Amai, leima, ein chachma, vein tfuna, le'neged Hashem. There's no joke when it comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you're doing an Isser, you have to stop right there. What's this honor you give a guy? We're not talking about a tumah d'oraisa. We're talking about a beis hapras. What's a beis hapras? There was a grave, and they plowed the field, and they were concerned that the plowing caused small fragments of bones to scatter across the field, and you might touch one of those fragments that's the size of a kisa'ira barley. Not a d'rabbanan. Yes, we're going to see that's exactly what it is. Kavod, give an honor to people, and what's the pshat? We'll see in a second. Domar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel min apeach odom beis hapras v'hoylech. You guys remember the picture of the person on all four blowing the beis hapras? Oh, how do you know? Here, I have it just in case you forgot what it looks like. This is the only picture on the internet that shows a person getting on all four and blowing. If you're new to the shir, it's not a chiddush if you were here in other mesechtas, but he is wearing tchelis in case you're concerned that it's a sports figure or anything like that. He's wearing a yarmulke, a tchelis. It's not a problem, they said. So this is what literally he gets on all four. It's crazy. He gets on all four in a field. Have you ever been to a plowed field? You know, and starts blowing his way. He puts his mouth as close to the ground as possible, and he blows the fragment. If there's a fragment, it's going to blow to the side. Now, he doesn't just blow straight. It goes back and forth, because, he has his whole body, kitzer, and that's how he makes his way all the way to the Beis HaMikdash. This is talking about a person that wants to bring a carbon Pesach. That's the only time that we allow him. Akapanim, you see the concept. If it was a D'oraisa, we wouldn't allow him to do this. There's no way out of a D'oraisa. The Rabbanan said, you know what, get on all four and blow. And if a lot of people walk through it, it's tar. Now, real quickly, you look at Rashi like 10 lines down, and Rashi did Ramaskal bebeis hapras, so Rashi says, beautiful. V'kiv in the Rabbanon hu da'asur, it's only the Rabbanon. Rabbanon hu da'achlua li'karayu gabi ovel. Rabbanon were moichel their covered. What is this? This is Rabbanon saying, we are makbid that you should do what we say. In this case, we're going to take a back seat to the oval, and we'll let you give him covered rather to give us covered. Toshma. Domer Rebbe Elazar bar Tzadok. Rebbe Elazar bar Tzadok was a kohen. We would step over the coffins of the dead. You could do this even for the Goyish kings. Does anybody remember where we had this? Very good. The guy's doing Chazor. On Testament Beis, we learned that he said, he's in the sugya of Yisurim Shalahava, he said, I had to pay a king, Adasim. So he says, you should pay anyways to go see a king, because the mitzvah to see a king. Akopanem, how could Rebbe Elazar bar Tzadok, a kohen, step on an aron? There's a concept. If there's a body in a coffin, but the coffin is more than a tefach above him, so what happens is the tumah gets stuck in the coffin. If the coffin is closer to his body, then it's boikeya va'oila and it comes out. We're not going to go into the whole halacha. This works only if there's an opening on the side also. Fine, and that's why on the street, we go through this every time. In the Merkaz, there's two giant pipes in the island. That's taking away tumah away from the graves over there. It's not a miklat. It was done for kohanim. Anyway, most coffins, the bodies are pretty skinny, so to the top of the coffin there's some room. Once in a while you get a gezunta guy in there. Now, Chacham said never go on top of a coffin, because maybe in the coffin there's a guy that has a lot of calories, and his body is right next to the top of the coffin, and memela his tomb is b'keva oil, and you're a kohen, you're going to get tummy. In this case, in order to see a king, the covet of the king, Chachamim removed their halacha. Tashma. Rashi brings two examples. Toilet paper is one of them. In those days, it was a stone. You're allowed a muktzah, you're allowed to bring a stone to the bathroom. And nowadays we have something similar. If you're stuck without cut toilet paper, I think the halacha is, look it up yourself, but you're allowed to cut the paper not on the dotted lines. If you mamish need for covered abrios, it shouldn't be a berzah.
Between your knees and use your knees to rip it.
Okay, fine. You should do it. He's saying shloikedarko with what is it called? You do it with shinoi klachia. Thank you. The other one is if a person sits his rip, caramelist. Okay, fine. Akopanim that for human dignity, that a person shouldn't be embarrassed, we could be doicha de rabbanon. V'amai leimein chochma v'inturim v'neitzim neged Hashem tigmar rav bar shuvah kamed rav kahana belav deloi sasur. This is a law that says you have to listen to chachamim. So the Gemara understands it right now. Very important to understand. The Gemara understands he means if chachamim came up with the iraisa explanation in the iraisa, let's say through they said this is the halacha, but it's a deraisa halacha. But us chachamim decided that's what's going on because of Gzer Shava, because of Kavachon, whatever it is. That's a loisasur, but it's really a deraisa. Achichu alei. Everybody laughed at him. Lav loisasur deraisa. At the end of the day, you're dealing with a deraisa. Omer Rav Kahana, Gavar Rabba, Omer Milsa, loisachichu alei. He said something. Let's understand what he said. Don't make fun of him. Kol milu derabanan asmechinu alav loisasur umeshachvaydoi shorabanan. We're not talking about a deraisa. We're talking about a derabanan. Every derabanan is also a deraisa because of loisasur. Meaning, when Rabbanan made up their own gzeira, that is included in the Isser of Loisasur. You have to listen to Rabbanan, but Rabbanan removed their Isser because of a covet of a king, or whatever, covet abriya is human dignity. Tashma. When it comes to Hashavas Aveda, sometimes you don't have to return it. A kohen is not mechuyev to go into a cemetery and become tamei to return an aveda. He's a very chashuv person. Some say Rishonim say that he's a talmid chacham. Even it's below his dignity. If he earns more money than the object is worth, why should he lose $1,000 to return a $5 watch? There's no monkey business about it. There's a mitzvah Shavas Aveda. Shani Hasan the Chesiv Salam to him. We should learn shatnez from there that he shouldn't have to take off his clothing. Mammon is a lighter isser than it's a lighter isser than isser of shatnez. Toshma. Let's see if I have the thing real quickly. Anyways, it says in the pasuk 4 times. I did this last second, that's why it's not 100%. From here we learn that a mace mitzvah, you have to be mitama for a mace mitzvah. A father, a husband, or what? You're not mitama for a regular mace. But if there's nobody else to deal with the mace, you're mitama. From the word la'aviv, I learn a mace mitzvah. From the word le'imoy, even if the guy is a nazir, he has to do it. La'achiv, even if he's a kohen gadol and a nazir, he has all these things, all these chumras, mace mitzvah breaks it all. And finally, la'achoisi tells me that if there's a mace mitzvah and he's on his way to do a bris milah for his son, which is kares, Pesach is kares, he should break it. Maybe he should be mitama to any mace. Amish lo yitama. You can't be mitama to any mace. Maybe he shouldn't be mitama for mace mitzvah. Tama loyma ula achoisoi. La achoisoi uday mitama. Al mitama is mace mitzvah. I just said the whole Sifri Rashi brings it down. All the different drushes that we learn from that pasuk. Amai lemein chochma vein tvuna vein eitzel neged Hashem. At the end of the day, he has to be Mekayim Korban Pesach. Shani Hasan d'chsivu la'achoisoi. No, there's a special meal that you have to be mitama for mace mitzvah. But I should learn shatnez. We can do this again tomorrow, but at the end of the day, we should learn shatnez. From there, he can take off his clothing. Sheval taisa shani. Shatnez, you're doing a kumbah, say you're wearing something. Not bringing a korban Pesach, you're not doing anything. The big question is, Rashi asks, what about tumah? You became tamei. The answer is, the Torah never said in that case that you can't be tamei. There is no isser tumah in that case. Have a wonderful day.